Deist or theist, you've now heard how to seek God. You've now heard how to take off the burden that's on your shoulders. You know, as you look around, we live in a common world. A common world where things in this world seem so common. Where things like murder seem so common to us. On our streets, in our cities, maybe in our homes. But we live in a world where there's so much anger, there's so much pain, there's so much suffering. I remember when I was a child, when my mother used to come to me and remind me and tell me, when you grow up, you need to be strong. Because this common world that we live in, you need to be strong. Little did I know that we're going to grow up in a world such as this. The question is, what is forgiveness? I want to tell you a story. We live in a world where men and women are being pulled down to the ground physically, psychologically, and mentally by guilt and by bitterness. You know, Jesus shows us an example. He goes, forgive your debtors, your debts, and forgive your debtors. You know, by forgiving your debts, he took the guilt, and by forgiving your debtors, he let go of the bitterness. There's a story of a young lady, a young woman, and her family. I want you to picture this. Imagine if somebody came into your household while you were sleeping and robbed your house. In this world that we live in that's common, it would seem so normal. But imagine if you caught that person that was about to rob you. And then that person saw you and saw your daughter, your son, your mother. And he murdered them. Let's say that your whole family was murdered and you just so happened to be the grandmother. What would you do as a grandmother? Now this person who murdered your family goes to jail. And he goes to jail and now the grandmother is about to have the funeral. And the funeral comes away. And everybody just seems to know this family. The community gathers, they all come together and they ask the grandmother, do you forgive this man? What do you have to say about your family? By the time the grandmother stands up, she goes up and she says, my brothers and sisters, why are you all so angry at this man? For this man did not hurt you. He hurt me. And she said to them, I went to jail, to the jail cell where this man was, and she forgave him. In the world that we live in, it's so easy for us to forgive things like somebody will come and steal the pen off you. Let me ask you a question. Would you forgive somebody if they murdered your family? Forgiveness is something that when you forgive somebody, it pulls you out of prison of burdens. You know, we understand that the burdens, when you give it to Jesus, you become lighter. You know, by seeking God, you're able to know that God is real. And when you seek God with all your heart. But what about forgiveness? Would you forgive somebody who hurt you? The Bible says in Matthew 6 that we are to forgive our brethren of their trespasses, and our Father shall forgive us of our trespasses. But if we do not forgive our brethren of their trespasses, then our Father shall not forgive us for our trespasses. We live in a world where young people, they're going to and fro. Young men, young women, doing what they like. But we seem to have lost forgiveness. When you forgive somebody, there's one thing that it does for you. It pulls you out of prison. I want to ask you a question. Would you forgive somebody who hurt you? I want to say this. When you forgive somebody, true forgiveness is this. When you forgive somebody that hurts you, when you truly forgive them with all your heart, you set somebody free from prison. And that person is you.